The Philadelphia Eagles are going back to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts gets his chance at revenge against Patrick Mahomes.
The rematch.
And this game against the Commanders last week was not really close.
No.
They won 55-23 in an absolute domination of the rookie phenom that we all know and love in Jayden Daniels. Mario, we were riding Jayden Daniels the whole playoffs and the regular season.
Yep.
He did us amazingly well, but it seemed in this spot like there wasn't much he could do because whether that was his team turning it over 3 times on the ground, fumbling, not him, or just the defense's inability to stop the run or the pass.
Yeah, I mean, I knew this game was going to be a game where they were definitely outmatched on paper. I still think they had a shot just because I think Jayden Daniels is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. And I always think if you have the better quarterback, you're always going to have a shot. And honestly, even despite the 2 fumbles in the first half and them being down, I mean, they scored. They stopped the Eagles. They get the ball back. They're only down 11 points.
In the fourth.
In the, I think it was still third quarter.
Or third quarter,
Third quarter. I mean, like 4 or 5 minutes left in the third quarter. They're driving down. You know what I mean? Like, if theoretically, if they drive down and score, like all of a sudden it's a field goal of a game. Like, I don't know. I just thought that it just came down to them shooting themselves in the foot. There wasn't much he could do. I mean, he would drive them down to like the opponent's 30, 40-yard line, and then it'd be Eckler, it'd be, De'Ami Brown, it'd be whoever else. McNichols on a kickoff return. So I don't know. It was tough. You could turn the ball over once, maybe twice, but 3 times to that good of a team, it's just not going to be feasible. And then at that point, I mean, it was 48-23 with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and you're kind of chucking up prayers to Terry to see if he can like win contested catches, and gets picked off is what it is. I mean, they weren't going to win in 4 minutes anyways, but I don't know. I came away from that game thinking that I don't know. Obviously, 55 points is a lot, but I don't really look at that number thinking like, oh, like that doesn't stick to me that much because like the game was already over. Those are just kind of like garbage points at that point. But I just kind of looked at it. It was like, wow, they actually kind of for a moment there really like were making that a game with literally nothing. I mean, this offense, if you really want to get down to it, Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler, they're okay. I mean, Eckler was terrible.
He was really bad.
But I mean, usually he's a little bit better, but not really that good. Brian Robinson's the definition of mid. I mean, Eckler averaged less than 2 yards per carry. Brian Robinson, I think, was right around 3.2. 3.3.
11 for 36.
Yeah, I mean, and Daniels is the only one who really can run the ball in that team.
6 forward, 48 and a touchdown.
Yeah. And I mean, their receivers, De'Ami Brown's okay. He's a good wide receiver 3 if you want to just have someone to, like, make some plays. But, like, when you're relying on 36-year-old Zach Ertz and Terry McLaurin, who's fine, but I mean, he's not like a perennial like elite wide receiver 1, like a Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson or that kind of caliber. Like,
I don't know how many receivers are better than Terry. I don't think he's in that wide receiver.
I think he's
1.
good enough
I think he's good.
I think he's good enough to get it done, but
you're
going
to be the one on your team.
But he can be the one on your team, but you're gonna need some other pieces.
Sure.
Like he's not like I think you could just have Justin Jefferson and like garbage and like that team will
he's
work.
Not in like the top 5, like
you know
the
what I mean?
CDs, but he's around like
around that 10 mark
to 10,
probably like
a little higher,
but I mean he has a good quarterback, so I don't know, maybe he'll rise on my list.
See,
but I mean he's not better than AJ Brown.
I know what you
know, and then you look at the defense. I mean, there's no way you'd rather have Terry than AJ Brown.
Yeah, we can talk. About
It's
that
also
in the
quarterback
offseason.
play is important.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
it's tough to AJ Brown really hasn't.
If you switch teams.
No, but it's tough when
both
AJ
of
Brown doesn't do anything.
That's what.
I know it is the quarterback, but after 18 games, I'm like, all right.
But look, when every big moment on a third down or fourth down, they just throw it to AJ Brown and he just makes an insane.
I do think Commanders secondary versus if we're talking this game specifically, we want to talk wide receiver performance. I mean, sure, AJ Brown's running good routes, but the Eagles
it wasn't even good routes. He was smothered by Lattimore on a big fourth down that could have changed the game.
The majority of his receptions were wide open, but I mean, these defenses aren't even remotely comparable.
No, and that's what it came down to as well. The defense, obviously, for the Commanders is
they're awful.
I mean, they got zero pressure on Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
They could not stop Saquon Barkley. I mean, they got lucky that he had a calf kind of like strain or whatever.
He carried 15 times and averaged 8 yards a carry.
I thought it was more. I thought it was 9.
No, 7.9.
Oh, well, either way.
Should have had more carries though.
Well, but his calf was bothering him.
They didn't need it. Will Shipley
That's
came in
true,
there
too.
4 carries, 77 yards on the touchdown.
Yeah, no, I mean
Big
this game.
Shipley.
If Saquon was fully healthy and they just like rode Saquon, I don't think this game would have had a chance. I think that just shows you how bad of Coach Sirianni is. Like, there's an easy game plan for this game to never even be close, or at least the Commanders would have to be perfect to like tie the game. But I mean, they were letting Jalen Hurts throw, and all of a sudden they're
7
going 3
rushing
and out,
touchdowns.
and Commanders are kind of coming back. But I don't know.
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts. I walked away from that game thinking that Jayden Daniels is the 5th best quarterback in the league. So
I completely agree. I
to be that composed in that spot, I was like,
if you're talking about a team that has overachieved more than I think any team I've seen in the last
as long as
maybe decade,
as long as I've been watching football.
probably, yeah, because they were the second worst team in the NFL last
Yes.
season. They had the second pick, and they really didn't add a whole lot. I mean, I know when you're looking at the defense, you're saying, Bobby Wagner is a nice piece to have, but he's a little older. On offense,
Yeah,
they still had
his
Terry.
prime was literally 10 years
Ertz
ago.
is old. They didn't really improve at the running back spot. Eckler doesn't really do anything on that team. So he pretty much took almost the exact same team that was second worst in the league last year and brought them to the final 4 teams.
Yeah.
And I get the NFC's easier, but Jayden Daniels is unbelievable. He was running for his damn life back there. They had him throw 48 times and carry the ball 6 times. I mean, so it's fully like the Bills on steroids when you're like, hey, Josh Allen, go win the game.
Mm-hmm.
This was that from the beginning.
They
It was
also
the first
went-
drive. They're like, Jayden Daniels.
They went 4 for 5 on 4th down.
I mean, they've been doing that all season.
No, but I'm just saying, like, that just, like, shows you, like, that's what they're doing just to string together, like, drives to put up 23 points. Like,
Yeah, and faking
3
it
of them were on the
punt.
first drive.
Yeah. Or 2. Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah, and so my takeaway was really these two teams were obviously outmatched, or they're in no way comparable. The
Yeah, it
Eagles
was just-
have the best roster in the
In the
NFC by far. Their defense is spectacular.
They
Their
deserve to
defensive
win.
line is really, really, really good, and their secondary is playing amazing.
Yeah.
And so Jayden Daniels had a really solid game, in my opinion. 2 touchdowns. I know he threw that pick at the end. It was 300 total yards, 303 yards against this defense. You can't complain from a rookie. That's golden right there. But they just don't have the rest of the team to get it done. So, yeah, Eagles, better team. Saquon is probably the best player in football right now. Yeah, Mahomes is his own thing, right? Mahomes just wins everything. But take Mahomes away. I mean,
Pure talent.
Saquon Barkley, dude, is just
That
what
first
he's doing.
play-
This, what
Yeah,
he's-
the first run.
watching him this
was
season,
unreal.
it literally reminds me of a healthy Christian McCaffrey, like in his prime.
Do 1,000
You
1,000.
just
Yeah.
you just
It
watch
reminds
him.
me of Adrian Peterson. That's what it reminds me
That
of.
too.
That
It's just
style of running, yeah. Just like the talent of running back, McCaffrey.
everything
also.
about him is just he's the perfect running back. And so yeah, I could not compliment the Eagles enough on how they played this game. I think it's going to be a really fun Super Bowl. I'm not happy with the teams, but if you're talking best rosters,
test
best
for
coach,
the
yeah, I
Chiefs.
mean
Yeah,
that's
the
like
best teams,
this
yeah.
the Eagles got to be in it.
No, yeah. I mean, this was nothing. This is exactly how I thought the game was going to go. Really nothing surprising at all. I knew the Eagles would score a bunch of points. This Commanders defense is terrible.
Yeah.
Every time Hurts played in the game against this Commanders team, it was an easy win.
It was
for
never
them.
close.
Yeah, it was never close. So I didn't think that one game where Kenny Pickett played the Commanders to a 1-point or 2-point
He
game.
got in this game too.
I'm saying I didn't think that meant that the Commanders could be in this game. I also think Daniels. This was finally the game where the Commanders were like not playing freely. It was more like, holy shit, we're now Final Four. It's not like, oh, we have nothing to lose. We're 10-point dogs to the Lions.
Yeah.
Just start balling and see what happens. This was like, I think everyone on the team looked a little nervous. The ball, like even like certain routes were bad. Obviously the fumbles. Daniels looked just a little like less precise than I would think he normally did. I also think the play calling was egregious. When they won their first 2 games, Daniels was carrying the ball like 15, 17 times. He carried the ball 6 times this game. That's
And 2 of those weren't designed.
That's the most absurd thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, if you have the best legs and also to slow the game down, the pace of the game, you're not going to keep up with this team, in my opinion, if you just go like band for band. You need to have long drives, like they did on the first drive.
Band
almost.
for band.
No, band for band. And I just think I just think they finally got like a realization of their team. You know what I mean? Like, are they the best 4 teams in the NFL? I don't think so. So they finally went, hey, we did it all. We did as much as we could. Finally just got hit with a brick wall. That was the Eagles.
Yeah,
But,
they squeezed enough juice out of that lemon, and there's just nothing.
Saying nothing to do with this game. This team is amazing, unbelievable story. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the future. NFC is looking good.
Best
There's
rookie
a lot of
season
anger.
for any quarterback.
Oh yeah, outside the game, amazing. Inside the game, just wasn't nowhere close near enough.
Yeah, Mike, did you kind of see the same thing we did?
Yeah, I mean, wasn't really too surprised. I mean, I think the Commanders in general just play
similarly to what Ryan was saying, it's like, everybody counted them out from the beginning and nobody thought they would play, make it this far. And so you have so much more leeway to kind of just do.
Yeah, there's no pressure.
Send everything at it and just see what happens. I mean, it's like they never had a defense that was going to be winning a Super Bowl to begin with. And so the only way they would win this game is if, their offense played perfectly and then it was just an absolute shootout. And, I mean, unfortunately for Jayden Daniels, his offense kind of let him down with the 3 turnovers, in my opinion. But, yeah, I mean, again, it wasn't too surprising because if your offense can't keep up, then your defense was never really in question. And that's just how that's their brand of football. So.
This is the first time a rookie's made it to AFC or NFC championship with a defense that wasn't a top 4 defense. Mm-hmm. Commanders were the 18th ranked defense.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
nothing was surprising. And also, the way they win this game is them not turning over and the Eagles turning over, and then Jalen Hurts not being able to pass in the pocket. Jalen Hurts was standing there doing whatever.
Jalen Hurts is great.
Really good.
Everyone's wide open.
So this was the Eagles.
Saints giving.
The Eagles never lose. The game runs out this way. It doesn't matter what they do on offense. They're always winning.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think in the comments. Was Jayden Daniels impressive? Was this kind of their ceiling, like we all thought it was? Regardless, the Eagles seem like
the better
Eagles
team.
Year? Is it the Eagles year? Let us know what you think. We got the Super Bowl coming up in 2 weeks. We're going to talk a whole lot about that game.